Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today I am coming at you guys with another tip and trick video. Today we are going to be going over a pre-shot routine. Having a solid pre-shot routine is going to make you a lot more consistent, and if you're more prepared than the person next to you on the tee pad, you are going to do better. You are going to be very surprised when you realize how much you can improve your game just by taking a very efficient 90-second analyzation of each hole before you send that tee shot. We are going to go over a handful of different things to analyze from beginners to experts. So let's get started. And we've made it to our first example of establishing a pre-shot routine. Now, the first thing I'm gonna do is try to give advice to the beginners out there, the people just starting, or people finally wanting to take that step to understand disc golf a little more in depth and improve their game. For our first example, we are on a 300-foot downhill tunnel shot. There's a lot going on. We are throwing over a ravine, and my advice for beginners may sound a bit basic, a bit trivial, but I promise you, if you really narrow down your focus points, you're gonna get better results. Now, the first thing that I want you to do when you step up to the tee pad is analyze the pin location. I don't want you immediately going through your mind thinking, how can I get to the pin location? Because there's about 5 other factors that are going to be in your way before you get there. Now, the next thing that I want you to do is identify and analyze the biggest obstacle in your way from getting your disc to the pin location. And as you can see on this specific hole, about halfway down the fairway, we have a gap that we have to hit. As a beginner, that's essentially where I'm going to tell you to stop. As soon as you start adding in a lot more factors, you're going to forget about the ones right in front of you. Remember, if you try to play chess against a grandmaster, they're going to be thinking 15 to 20 moves ahead. But if you're just getting into the game, you're trying to think 1 to 2 moves ahead. If you're pushing for 15 to 20, you're going to forget a lot of that in between. So just focus on that initial hazard. What disc is going to promise you or has the highest chance to get through there, because if you get through that gap, your odds of walking out with a par go up dramatically. Now, for a more advanced player, we are going to take a few more steps on our analyzation process. Now, the first thing that I notice and the thing that gets me the most excited when I look at this hole is we do have a natural backstop. The basket is located on a hill, and for me in those situations, I usually disc up and I go with something more stable that I know I can throw as hard as I can. In a wide open scenario, I would never go with a disc like my Kotuku, but I'm confident that I can hit that gap, land up by the basket, and we're going to crash into the side of the hill, and that's going to save us. Now, there's 2 more reasons that I'm going to go with a more stable disc. And one, when you're throwing downhill, more stability tends to be your friend. And plus, the next step that I want you guys to do is to analyze your miss. But for this next step, you have to analyze your strengths. And in this situation, you're looking at either an uphill putt or a downhill putt. Uphill putt, statistically, you're going to walk out with a better score. For me, downhill putts, I'm just much better at. So if I have a left finish, we will be having a downhill comeback putt at the basket. If you want more of the uphill safer route, you want to go with something a little more understable to get that right finish and then make a putt back up to the basket from there. So we've taken a step on the tee pad, we've analyzed the pin location, we've identified our biggest obstacle stopping us from getting to that pin location. We have decided that because it is downhill, we want to go with a little more of a stable disc, plus we want that left finish to give us a downhill putt. And the last thing to think about is analyzing the plane of the hole. Because we are throwing downhill, you want to match that and you want to keep your disc much lower to take out any risk of huge tree kicks that could send us off to oblivion. Your disc is going to travel a lot farther if you hit it 50 feet up in the air than if you only hit it 4 feet in the air. So after all of that, we have chosen the Kotuku. I'm going to try to really force it over, get that slight turn, and then have it crash back into the hill. Let's see how we do. Perfect. That was actually way better than I expected, but that's what we're looking for. Our next example is this extremely daunting 545-foot hole. The basket is dead straight, but as you can see, we have to throw up a mountain. So for step one, we don't have a pin location to analyze, but what we can analyze is our landing zone. And for most disc golfers out there, our landing zone is just simply going to be the fairway. For the small percentage out there that can get up and over this hill, you're probably not going to be watching this video anyway, so there's no reason for me to go over that. But as a beginner, the first thing I want you to do is step up to the tee pad and understand that this is an extremely daunting hole, but be realistic with what you can do. So if you just analyze that, it makes the hole a lot less daunting. If that basket was only 200 feet off the tee pad sitting out there in the open, you would think it's a nice and easy hole and you would get excited for that. Just throw your tee shot like there's a basket right there. If you land there, it's a good landing zone, and then you start plugging away down the fairway. Now, as a more advanced player, you can really start to think about which side of the fairway you'd prefer to land on, because if you land on the left side, obviously that opens up the fairway more for a standard hyzer approach shot. If you're somebody who kind of likes the turnover or the flick, you're going to want to bring your focus to the right side of the fairway. But at the end of the day, I think I can speak for most of us, regardless of your skill level, we're all just secretly trying to do the same thing. We're just trying to land in the fairway. And because we are throwing uphill, understability is going to be your friend. So I'm going to go with my Halo Wraith. I'm going to throw it right at the left side of this fairway. I'm really going to give it my all. I'm not worried about it overturning. Because we're throwing uphill, the disc is going to find the ground a lot quicker, so it's not going to have all that time to turn and burn. We didn't quite get enough turn. We could have even gone more understable, but we made it pretty far up the fairway. We barely went off of it. We will gladly take that. We are not going to be too picky and beat ourselves up about that shot. And for our third example, yes, we have the oh so scary water holes. And on top of that, we have quite a bit of elevation. So for step one, we're going to analyze the pin location. It's pretty much in a wide open field. So for step two, what's our biggest obstacle? Obviously, guys, it's the water. My first piece of advice for a beginner or somebody who isn't very confident in their throw yet is to just go to the short tee pad. I know that can sound like a jab, but guys, it's not worth it. The water's going to get way too in your head, and over time, as your confidence builds, you can approach a shot like this and you'll be just fine, because with water, 99% of the time, it's just about your confidence. If you find yourself on a tee shot that you're nervous about, if there's any way that you can take the water completely out of the picture, go to the short tee pad, or even skip the hole for that matter. Yes, water is a part of the game, but let's build some confidence and then address the water. If you're kind of hovering in the middle and you do have some confidence, you feel like you can get over the water, guys, do not focus on the pin at all. Just focus on the water. What is it going to take for you to clear it? My recommendation would be understable. Now, that does sound a bit contradictory, because earlier I said throwing downhill, you want more stability, but in this case, when the only objective is to just go far, it's okay if we land to the left, it's okay if we land to the right, we're just trying to get past the water, go with understable to extend that flight. For more advanced players, this is going to be more or less a pretty routine 350-foot shot. We are throwing downhill, but not by that much when you just take it from tee pad to basket. So the only thing that we're going to analyze is what's our most consistent 350-foot disc, the shot shape that we want to get there, and the angle we want to take off the tee pad. For the big forehand boomers, you're probably going to go with a more right to left to open up, give you a lot more area to push it out to the left and let it crash back to the right. For people who like to go for more of a flex shot, if 350 is kind of at the edge of their distance, they're going to want to come more of a right to left, because that's going to open up the fairway to give them more room to get that right turn and then that left fade finish. For me, especially with anything downhill, I like to go stable, and I like to go pretty much all flip up to hyzer. It's the safest route for me. It's going to get me the most consistent results, and for that, I'm going to go with the Firestorm, and we're going to see how we do. Oh my goodness, that almost skipped in. Wow, that got my heart. I really thought that was gonna skip in. Holy crap. That wraps up today's video on establishing a pre-shot routine. This was just some information that I wanted to share with you guys. Hopefully you can at least walk away with 1 or 2 things that you can apply to your next round. There are dozens of other situations that I could approach, do this walkthrough again with you guys. So if you enjoyed it, if you'd like to see another one, please make sure to let me know in the comments below. Now take some of this information, apply it to your next round, get outside and go toss some plastic.